We have with us Ahmed Al Basri, the Senior Reliability Engineer at KIPIC. Ahmed, thank you so much for giving us time. I want to ask you, you were on one of the panels at the GDA as well, right?
Yeah, so basically, part of the GDA, we have these expert sessions, and today we have this expert session about the challenges in digital transformation for the asset management, physical asset management. It was an open discussion, not like the other sessions. We shared some of the KIPIC challenges for the topic, and we opened the floor to gain the experience, because that's the flavor and the value of the GDA itself, sharing knowledge across the different companies in the GDA, and that's what we did today. We listened to inputs from Aramco, Sasref, and other K companies, and other Babco also participated actively. So this is what we have done, and it was a very fruitful session. Not to comment good about my session, but we shared a lot from everyone, and I think we have a lot to take back home to better do our jobs back home from this session.
Share with us some of the insights from the session.
So basically, we focused on what were the challenges, and I have personally identified for the session 3 challenges. One of them is building the business case for the digital transformation in our companies. Of course, there is difficulties in making that a reality. How we promise something to someone in the future that if you invest this much this time, you will gain that much after 2-3 years. This is a very challenging thing, and we have got some feedback on how or what are the best approaches to do so. And also we discussed the lack of expertise, because technology is moving faster than we can learn and we can adapt, and we have seen what were the different approaches adopted by the different companies in the GDA about bridging that gaps in the adoption of the digital transformation initiatives. And the last thing was the adaptation itself. People are used to some business processes or all the practices which they are used to for so many years. Now we are trying to bring this new technology, trying to push everyone out of his comfort zone. That's a tricky thing. And also we have got a lot of examples from there. Some people shared creating a champions forum for the different initiatives for digitalization, and I think that was something I am taking back home with me, which I've got from another member on the GDA.
Yeah, if you could just elaborate on that, because you said that there were other people, other companies in the session as well. What are the challenges that they face? Were they different than what KIPIC faces?
So some of them faced a challenge, which is a common challenge in the digital transformation, which is the quality of the data. You are trying to collect a lot of data using the digitalization and digital transformation initiatives, but how do you ensure the quality of that data? And some people also gave some good approaches about that. I think we have listened to something shared by Yasref, how they have implemented an auditing step in the system where these data get validated before it gets pushed and closed into the database, and this is the sort of things that you really gain out of this experience, right? You are in a conference, and sharing the knowledge and sharing the expertise normally is one-sided, like one guy is the speaker and everyone is listening. But we tried to play it differently this time. I spoke about some things, but I invited everyone back in, and it was a very, very nice session. We really enjoyed our time there.
So should I understand, or should the question be, is digitalization easy or is it difficult for companies as big as KIPIC?
See, all oil and gas companies, let's say we have the resources, we have the money, but we are trying to put our money in the right place, and that's the challenge. So it's easy. Yes, it's easy. I can come tomorrow and I invest so much money in this technology or in that technology, but would I benefit from that? That's where we wanted some success stories, some use cases. We get some business cases where we can take and convince our management. Yes, this is. At the end of the day, it's not easy money. It's easy for us maybe in the GDA because of our production and our scale, but at the same time, it's not easy money in terms of business. And once we are trying to do something, we are trying to optimize and increase the efficiency and increase the return of investment for our stakeholders. and that was a good example in digitalization and digital transformation, of course.
And while you take back those success stories to be implemented in KIPIC and probably convince your bosses to digitalize, I want to ask you about the regions downstream in general and how digitalization is when you speak to other companies, how successful they have been, and how that is going to be, let's say, a business case success for you.
So basically, in the region, we are highly adapters of the technologies. We accept they use, and I think I would consider our oil sector a young generation sector. So it's driven by younger people nowadays, and younger generations are more tech savvy. They
Sure.
like
Yeah.
they like the technology more. So I think driven by that and trying to adapt, all of our companies is trying to adapt. Everyone has his own initiative. Some companies are starting big and improving, and some companies are starting with pilots and test runs, and
True.
and then enhancing from there. But I think the Gulf region, in terms of digital transformation, we are adapters, we are early adapters, and we are going at full speed toward that. We just need to fine tune it, and I think this is a good venue as a GDA to align all of our expectation and our requirement, and also, let's say, put the pressure back on the technology providers.
Yeah.
Please give us good technologies to adapt
Sure.
to, right? So this is a good venue for that, and I think this is a good utilization for the association itself.
In addition to digitalization, what other challenges do you think refiners could face in the near term, and how do you think they should overcome those challenges?
So basically, energy sector in the whole world is a hot topic nowadays. With
Indeed,
with,
yeah.
the, with the shortages everywhere, and the oil prices everywhere, and of course there is this talk about the environment and being environmentally responsible. And I think we all are striving toward those goals. We are trying to commit, everyone in his own way, how we want to commit to this sustainability, how to make this business part of the global energy spectrum. Yet we are doing it in an environmentally responsible manner, and I think if you have seen the theme for the GDA, you would see that this was the topics that were discussed here, and I think this shows how much we are interested in this challenge. And I think this is, let's say, this is the number one challenge today in the whole world, not only in the GDA companies, right? So everyone around the world is trying to be sustainable, trying to create a sustainable environment for us to live in and for our next generations to live in as well. And we as GDA, we are trying to do that as well. Not to speak for GDA, but I mean as well.
If I may ask about Kuwait's national plan in terms of energy transition and renewables both, could you shed light on that?
I am not in the right place to talk about that, but if I can say that I think we are committed. Our representative in the Egypt COP, yeah, we have made some commitments, and you can see those commitments there, and I think we are sticking with them, and those commitments are actually cascading all the way down to us as a working level, and we are committed to that from a moral perspective as well as from a national-wide commitment which we have already made.
I know you made a few points about GDA being helpful, but just an overview of how GDA can help the downstream, whether it's discussions, whether it's solutions, overcoming challenges, speaking about them.
Of course, being in an association with this scale and with I mean, if you look at the GDA from the perspective of the market share, you'd see that this is a huge player in the energy market nowadays, and as having that huge market share, we have the responsibility to be always optimized, always ahead of our game, and I think that's what we are doing here. So the GDA is helping all of these companies achieve that goal, and of course, through further, let's say, integration and exploring more of the possibilities, what we can get out of GDA, I think we can reach somewhere good, and hopefully, speaking for myself, I think that I like the idea of the initiative, and I think our companies, especially, like we have two companies as a founding members from Kuwait, Q8 and KBI and KMBC, and also KIPIC, my company, is always supporting this association, and we would like for this to succeed, because I think the success will reflect on not only our companies but the whole energy sector around the world.
We're going to speak, the last question is going to be about the young Kuwaiti men and women. As energy transition is the future, so are the young generation of today, the future leaders of tomorrow. How is your company, or let's say the Kuwait's energy sector, lining up those young men and women to be the leaders of tomorrow, energy leaders of tomorrow?
So basically, we as a company, KMBC, KIPIC or KMBC, we are all part of KBC, which is the Kuwait Petroleum company, and KBC is the let's say the mother company, and KBC has a lot of policies and procedures now to activate the young generation, the younger men and women in the field, to be really leaders in that. And we have, if I'm allowed to share this, we have a lot of programs where we deliver to the young generations the value of sustainability, how to be competitive in the next generation. We have so many talent management programs where we are trying to prepare these younger generations for tomorrow's, let's say, energy markets. And that's a policy driven top to bottom, from the highest levels in Kuwait till the working level of each company.
Ahmed, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to OG Energy Magazine.
Thank you for your time, really appreciate it.